Live for Monday, August 24th, 2020. I'm Lindsay Paris, here with you tonight live from the HC Media Studio. We're now bringing you the Haverhill Journal Live, Monday nights at 7 p.m., live streaming on Channel 22 in Haverhill, at haverhillcommunitytv.org, and on the HC Media Facebook page, replaying at 5:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. every weekday night on Channel 22. Tonight, the first day of school is just 3.5 weeks away, but back to school in Haverhill has never been quite like this, as school districts everywhere face the challenge of providing quality education during a global pandemic. Haverhill Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Margaret Marotta is joining us tonight to answer some of parents' most pressing questions about the new hybrid and remote methods of instruction being adopted here in Haverhill. Dr. Marotta, thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to talk to us.
Thank you, Lindsay. It's great to be here. I know people have so many questions. It's just a whole new world of education, and I really appreciate being able to try to get the word out and explain to people what we're shooting for here.
Yes, this is a very exciting time, very unusual time, very busy time. Around 67% of students in our district have chosen to return to school in the hybrid model of 2 days in school, 3 days remote. How will the hybrid learning model differ from the traditional in-person 5-day-a-week instruction?
So, Lindsay, I think it's important to remember. So we're really aiming to teach the same content during both the models and have the same objectives for learning through the models. I think what's different is the way we'll go about it. In-person learning and learning online or distance learning there are different ways that you can sort of attack it and meet kids' needs. So it'll be mostly about the teaching modalities and less about the actual instruction of the material that we're covering. That'll be the difference.
Okay, I see what you mean. Now, the Remote Learning Academy, again, is selected by about 33% of students. So you're saying that's going to be fairly similar to the hybrid learning? Will the same lesson plans be used for both groups?
So not exactly the same lesson plans because, again, um, the way we go at teaching the same information will be a little bit different, but the same objectives, the same goals of the lesson will be there. We'll want kids to come out with the same knowledge. We just might go about it a little bit differently in order to get them there.
Right. Now, will remote learners, the Remote Learning Academy, will they be instructed by teachers from their usual school, or will there be dedicated remote learning classes taught by, remote learning instructors?
So everyone will be a Haverhill Public Schools teacher, and largely, this is sort of evolving as we go. More students, as we come closer to school, are choosing to enroll in remote learning than we had expected, which is fine. We're completely flexible. But as we do that, we're sort of able to set up little remote learning academies within each school so that the students largely will be with teachers that they know from their own school and with peers from their own school.
Oh, that's really good to know. Okay. And then I understand also that with the remote learning and the hybrid option, parents do have the option to switch back and forth, I believe, when the term changes. Is that correct?
That's right. We're trying to make it at reasonable transition points throughout the school year to be flexible, knowing that families might change their mind as they go through. But also, we don't want kids just sort of flipping back and forth because that's hard for them and it's hard for everyone in their class, right? People want to feel like they have friends, whether it's remotely or in person, and that they have a relationship.
Totally understandable. Totally understandable, right? Are there any updates on transportation as it pertains to busing and also changes to traffic patterns at drop off and pickup now that many more students are going to be driven to school by parents?
Absolutely. So both. Parents should keep their eyes open for a invitation to them to apply for bus passes. We haven't had bus passes in Haverhill in the past, but we'll be having bus passes this year. So we'll be asking families that have signed up for either cohort A or cohort B, the in-person learning, to sign up for bus passes because we'll need to assign students seats and we're going to have to be pretty prescriptive about what bus riding looks like. And we also have quite a few changes to pick up and drop off in order to assure that everybody sort of moves through smoothly through the lines. We've had curb cutting in the schools and redesigned some of our drop off procedures so that there won't be quite as much congestion, we hope, as well as just thinking about not having kids sort of have as much freedom in the morning to play and run around as we might like. But we need them to sort of be safe and socially distanced.
Absolutely. As a parent myself, I'm glad to hear that because, drop off can be a little bit crazy as it is. So I'm sure with all the new volume of people coming in, that will add just even more challenge to that. School sanitation and ventilation, of course, have become top priorities during the era of COVID-19. What changes have been made to sanitation and ventilation for this school year?
Yeah, so we've actually been doing sort of final punch list walkthroughs of the schools today, and we'll be doing those all week. Looking at, we'll be having logs for bathroom cleaning, for cleaning across the school to make sure that everything's occurring on a regular basis, everything's on schedule, hand sanitizing stations. Sinks, all the sinks are working throughout the schools. The soap and sanitizing station in each classrooms. What else have we done? The HVAC systems, we've been updating and upgrading them and making sure that they all work, to assure that we have maximum airflow in the schools. And we're having an independent contractor come in and certify each of the schools and each of the classrooms, that in fact we do have the proper ventilation in there, for a full school full of students.
Great, excellent. And my last question for you is there any update on when parents can expect to hear from the schools as far as, classroom assignments, more updated information on drop off? Again, it's only 3.5 weeks away, but we also know that things are crazy and changing all the time. So is there any update on when that might be forthcoming?
Yeah, so the schools are finishing up hopefully in the next day or two, for all the parents who didn't answer the survey for how they would like to attend. They've been calling all the parents. So once we want to get at least to 95% knowledge of who's going where. We hope to have that by the end of this week or so. And next week, I think we start reaching out with more details to families, classroom assignments. We need to know who's going where before we can decide who their teacher is. But we're getting there. If people just, remain patient, we promise we're there. We want to do it well, not do it quickly.
That makes perfect sense. And again, I really appreciate the information. And we all know how challenging this is for the school department with over 8,000 students, getting into school so they can learn, but also be safe and healthy. So great information that all parents should know. Thank you so much, Dr. Marotta, for being here tonight.
Thank you, Lindsay. I really appreciate your time.
Great. Have a good one. Thank you. So, moving on. Have you noticed how great downtown Haverhill is looking lately? Team Haverhill's Cleaner and Greener initiative has a lot to do with that. Team Haverhill volunteers have logged dozens of hours this summer cleaning up parklets, painting downtown, and more. And the Journal's Cassie Elson was on hand to check out the fruits of their labor.
My name is Kevin Burke with Team Haverhill. The Cleaner and Greener Downtown Haverhill initiative was started in 2018 after Possible Dreams, our annual community visioning event. It was Lisa Marzilli's brainchild, and it is a series of small planting, painting, and cleaning projects that are aimed at improving our downtown. Today we're painting a few of these bollards that were getting rusty and needed a little TLC, so we've gone down the street. These are some of the last ones to be done. We just did some the other night in front of Wicked Big Cafe, and yeah, these are the last 6 on this side, and then there are a few more in the alleys a little further up on Washington Street that we'll get to next. One of our next projects, we are going to move up the street to Columbus Park, right across from the railroad station. That has a picket fence all the way around it that definitely needs to be scraped and painted. The park needs to be cleaned up. Cleaner and Greener hopefully also serves as a catalyst to get more of the community involved and to get on board with making our already great downtown even better.
Haverhill is so fortunate to have great volunteer groups and individual volunteers that help make our city great. They pick up litter, They save historic buildings, they put on music festivals, they run farmers markets. And what we wanted to do was improve our downtown by making it cleaner and greener. So when we first started, one of the reasons we started cleaning and greening is because we moved the Haverhill Farmers Market to the Merrimack Street site, and therefore brought me and others downtown much more. So we started working on the planters around the farmers market and painting mural on the farmers market and the posts around farmers markets. We've done 2 planters on the side of Goki parking lot, and then recently we've worked on the planter and the behind the Haverhill Beef parking lot, and that was a big project. Another clean and green project that we just completed is the green space in the middle of Washington Street, right on the entrance to the Essex Street parking lot. And there we basically added much better soil, put in 22 perennials and shrubs, and then mulched it, cleaned the monument. So really a transformation there. And now we see people sitting on that bench daily just because that space is so much, cleaner and greener and more pleasant to be at. So we'd love to have more people involved in our clean and green team. We're small and nimble, but there's a lot more to do. So if you're interested in joining us for painting, planting, landscaping, you can get in touch with us at our website, www.teamhaverhill.org, on Facebook by Team Haverhill, or Instagram. We'd love to have you join us.
Looking good. Keep up on Team Haverhill's latest projects by visiting their website at teamhaverhill.com or visit the Team Haverhill Facebook page. And that's our show for Monday, August 25th. Thanks so much for joining us. As always, keep watching HC Media for up-to-date information, announcements, series programs, and more. I'm Lindsay Paris, and have a great evening, everyone. Good night.